As the Democratic Party is in chaos right now, trying to decide what to do, there is definitely now a faction that is getting behind Joe Biden and saying it's Biden or nothing. He's our nominee. He's staying. That's it. There's another faction that's saying, no, Biden's got to go, and they want it to be Kamala, thinks she's a hottie Harris. There's even a report out today that the best chance the Democrats have for beating Donald Trump this fall is a Hillary-Kamala ticket. Yeah, we know that the Clintons somehow would manage to snake their way back in. And then, of course, there's another faction within the Democratic Party that wants somebody like a Gavin Newsom that they believe would bring energy. Let me just say this right across the board. Joe's not going anywhere. The Democrats are stuck with him. And even if they swap him out, it's too late. But let's take another look at this post-debate performance when Joe Biden can't even keep the excuses straight why he had a bad night.
No indication of any serious condition. I was exhausted. I didn't listen to my instincts in terms of preparing, and I had a bad night.
Came home from Europe about 11 or 12 days before the debate, spent 6 days in Camp David. Why wasn't that enough rest time, enough recovery time?
Because I was sick. I was feeling terrible. Matter of fact, the docs with me, I asked them, they did a COVID test because they were trying to figure out what was wrong. They did a test to see whether or not I had some infection, a virus. I didn't. They just had a really bad cold. Even when I was answering a question, even though they turned his mic off, he was still shouting. And I let it distract me.
I ran out of gas. I had a flat tire. I didn't have enough money for cab fare. My tux didn't come back from the cleaners. An old friend came in from out of town. Someone stole my car. There was an earthquake. A terrible flood. Locust. It wasn't my fault, I swear to God!
The fact of the matter is that what I looked at is that he also lied 28 times. The way the debate ran, not my fault, no one else's fault. No one else's fault.
But it seemed like you were having trouble from the first question in.
I was jet lagged. I was sick. Donald Trump told a bunch of lies. Donald Trump was screaming at me. Donald Trump was not screaming at him with the mic off. We talked about this a couple of days ago. In fact, there's not one news agency that's reporting that Donald Trump was screaming or antagonizing. In fact, what has Donald Trump done since the debate? Well, he's gone out and he's held some rallies and some fundraising events. But you don't see Donald Trump posting on Truth Social and all over the place, going after Joe Biden. They would love him to. What he's doing is exactly the Ray Kroc formula. When your competitor is on fire, stand back and let it burn. And Donald Trump is showing this incredible discipline like he did the night of the debate. He stood there, and again, it was a split screen, and he would look over at Joe and at times look at him like, what on earth are you saying? He absolutely captured the TV moment, but he wasn't screaming at Joe with the mic off. So these are all excuses on Joe's part, and Trump isn't taking the bait. He's not out there just, banging on Joe every single day. He's getting his little needles in, but hey, that's classic Donald Trump. But Biden can't keep the excuses straight, and they've got him on this rehabilitation tour where he's supposed to be showing the party that he is ready. And he was in Pennsylvania with John Uncle Fester Fetterman, and he was there to thank, the Pennsylvania Democrats for, having his back and getting things organized in the state. And listen to this. Now, this is post-debate.
Even when I was running for Senate, and each time I ran, quite frankly, not a joke, Philadelphia in particular got me across the line.
Say that again.
Even when I was running for Senate, and each time I ran, quite frankly, not a joke, Philadelphia in particular got me across the line.
One more time.
Even when I was running for Senate, and each time I ran, quite frankly, not a joke, Philadelphia in particular got me across the line. No, I'm not joking. Or no, I mean it seriously.
Do you notice who didn't clap? John Fetterman. Now, did John Fetterman not clap because, he's still, overcoming issues with his own brain post-stroke? Did he not clap because he really doesn't like Joe Biden? Or did he not clap over the obvious? Joe Biden, again, taking us on a stroll down memory lane, which usually means it's something made up. He started out talking about, I'm from Scranton, Pennsylvania, coal country. And again, he's had to admit, even to Jon Stewart, again, 20 years ago when he was still in his right mind, that no one in his family ever worked in the coal mines. But hey, it doesn't stop him from telling stories about family members like his dad and uncles working in the coal mines, which they never did. So, he starts right out talking about coal country and Scranton, and Fetterman's just kind of standing there in his hoodie, and you can almost tell he's like rolling his eyes like, you have been so debunked on this. Why do you keep going there? But that's not the reason Fetterman had his arms like this and wasn't applauding when Biden said what he said about when he was a senator. It was Pennsylvania, in particular Philadelphia, that saw it through and carried him through. The issue is Joe Biden was a senator from Delaware. Wah, wah, wah. People in Pennsylvania and Philadelphia can't vote for a guy running for the Senate from Delaware. Wah, wah, wah. This is supposed to be his rehabilitation tour, huh? This is supposed to show everybody he's got it. He's ready. He's fit. No, he is not in control at all.
But I realized that I just wasn't in control.
Let's get ready to rumble! You can't handle the truth.
Hi, I'm Pastor Marty, and this is the Afternoon Drive. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, and once you are, smack the bell, click the word all. Then you get notification of my rants, my ravings, and my undeniably flawless reasonings. Please like and share this video. Thank you so much for being a part of the Afternoon Drive. But it isn't just Joe Biden who can't keep his story straight. The lying legacy, corporate, corrupt mainstream media can't keep the story straight. In fact, Joe Scarborough, just a month ago, and I know we've already done this, but we're gonna show you because he's changed again. Joe Scarborough, just a month ago, was emphatic that this broken down Biden that we see with our lying eyes, behind closed doors, he is engaged, he is razor sharp, he is the best Biden ever.
Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever.
Post-debate, he wasn't saying that. Now, with Mika by his side, he was bending over backwards to try to tell Joe Biden how much he loved him, but for the good of the country, he needed to step aside. And thank God it was only June, and they had plenty of time now they got to make this happen because it's June. Good thing it didn't happen in October, this debate performance, because now we need to do something and we need to replace him. And then Scarborough magically went on vacation by himself, and it was Mika out there the rest of the week carrying the Biden water and saying that the reason he had a bad debate performance was he was fatigued, he was sick. She was reading the Democratic talking points. Obviously, Joe and Mika had a disagreement on moving forward. But now I'm happy to report that Mika and Joe have kissed and made up, and Joe is back on the Biden reservation because, see, Joe Scarborough doesn't have a moral bone in his body. Just ask the dead woman in his office when he was a congressman. Joe Scarborough doesn't have a core belief or core conviction on anything. There was a time Joe and Mika wanted to be pally-pally and lick the boots of Donald Trump. They had him on all the time when he was candidate Trump. And even went to Mar-a-Lago for New Year's Eve and wanted to hang out with the new incoming administration. And Trump wanted nothing to do with him. And when Trump snubbed them, that was it. They went into Trump derangement syndrome. And they're not journalists. They just sit there and read the Democratic talking points because Scarborough gets paid money to do that. So now, after a few days of thinking about it, we can't throw Joe Biden away over one bad night.
He needs to answer the question, is he capable of moving forward? And he knows he needs to answer that question. He needs to answer it in interviews. He needs to answer it in press conferences. He needs to answer it at the NATO summit. He needs to answer it in everything that he does. As for the rest of us, and that's Democrats, that's independents, that's Republicans of good faith. Let's be smart. Let's take a deep breath, and let's understand it's only July the 5th.
So Joe Scarborough is trying to sell the audience on this. This is just a bad night, just a one-off. So again, let's look at the progression of Joe Scarborough over the last 3 weeks.
He's far beyond cogent. In fact, I think he's better than he's ever been. This is a battle for the future of American democracy. And now is a good time. In June, thank God, in June, and not October, in June, this is the last chance for Democrats to decide whether this man we've known and loved for a very long time is up to the task. As for the rest of us, and that's Democrats, that's independents, that's Republicans of good faith. Let's be smart. Let's take a deep breath, and let's understand it's only July the 5th.
Wow. 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 And what's the other word I'm groping for? Oh, yeah. Wow. He had Joe Biden on the other day, radio interview, so nobody could see him, and Joe could actually sit there and read his answers to the pre-scripted questions he had already given Scarborough to ask him. How do we know that? Well, we found out that he did that with 2 black radio DJs, one of which has been fired. We can hear Joe Biden shuffling the papers as he talks to Joe. And even then, with it in front of him and him reading it, he still couldn't keep the answer straight, to which even Jake Tapper at CNN pointed out.
Biden called into one of his favorite TV shows, Morning Joe on MSNBC, and he railed against what he called the elites.
I'm getting so frustrated by the elites. Now, I'm not talking about you guys, but about the elites in the party who they know so much more.
President Biden seems to be trying to frame what's going on right now as the average voters who want him versus the elites of the Democratic Party, donors and lawmakers and opinion makers, many of whom have serious concerns about Biden's ability to be the candidate and have called for him to step down after that debate performance that let's call baffling. In reality, 72% of voters say that they believe President Biden is too old. That's according to CNN's most recent polling. Voters have been saying this for quite a long time. The reality is that the Democratic elites are mostly late to acknowledge these age and ability issues compared to the rest of the public. The elites have been forced to reckon with it after the debate just 11 days ago.
Look at my career. I've not had many of those nights. It was a terrible night, and I really regret it happened. But the fact of the matter is, how can you assure you're going to be on Faith That Can Intervene on your way to go to, work tomorrow? Age wasn't, the idea I'm too old.
The fact of the matter is, how can you assure you're going to be out on, on your way to go, work tomorrow, age wasn't, the idea that I'm too old. Keep in mind, that soundbite is supposed to be reassuring to those Democratic supporters who have gone wobbly.
But Scarborough is back on the Biden plantation. You've got AOC and other name-recognized Democrats. They're lining themselves up in the Biden camp. And Biden is just running the clock out now. I'm telling you what's going to happen. You guys that keep predicting, oh, no, he's going to be replaced. He's going to be replaced. No. Nay. He's supposed to have a press conference this Thursday. See, he keeps announcing things that he's going to do because that kind of like, oh, wow, all right. Maybe in this he pulls it together. Now, he won't. And again, I take no joy in this. I had 2 family members, my mom and my dad, both passed from dementia. This doesn't just magically over time progressively get better, it gets worse. But this is what Jill Biden and the handlers of Joe Biden want, and it is what Joe himself wants. And Joe is an evil scumbag. And Michael Moore, who's trying to talk about that Joe Biden is suffering from elder abuse, though he's right, he's also wrong. Joe Biden is not this wonderful moral bastion of an individual. He's not this courageous guy. He's the most progressive, really. Tell that to all the black men sitting in prisons because Biden referred to them as super predators, and he came up with the crime bill that destroyed black families in this country. Democrats are racist. Lyndon Johnson with his Great Society, going to try to buy the black vote. Yeah, that decimated black America because basically he was telling them, you're too stupid to know how to do this for yourself. You're too stupid to know how to earn an income, buy a house. So we'll just give you government housing, government food, and some government money. And every 4 years you will vote for us. That's all we need you to do because that's all you're good for. That's what Lyndon Johnson's Great Society was all about. And Joe Biden's no different. He's classic Democrat in that standpoint. That's why he didn't want busing and his kids going to a racial jungle. Okay. But no. Look at his DEI appointments and his vice president. Yeah. So they can't keep the lies straight. And they think you and I, as the American public, that we haven't watched literally Joe Scarborough flip-flop 3 times in 3 weeks. They're going to run the clock out. They're going to keep Joe. Hillary is obviously funding the pollsters that are coming forward saying the best chance the Democrats have to win is if Hillary's on the ticket. Yeah, okay. All I can say is just sit back, get some popcorn, enjoy the show.